Tio. Würde Sinn machen, falls sie von dem Kult... die war ja verschwunden oder irgendwie sowas, ne? Bei dem Kult, das würde erklären, warum sie eine erhöhte Sensibilität hat, als ob sie außerhalb von gewissen Divergent Laws gehoben wurde. So, now that it's evening, we wanna grab the next bus. Ich will jetzt mal nicht weiter darauf eingehen, weil das, was wir darüber damit wissen, kommt erst in Code D4, deswegen das ist noch ein bisschen in der Zukunft. Von dem Punkt, wo das Spiel ist. So, now that it's evening, we wanna grab the next bus. No complaints here? Thank goodness for the convenience of the bus system. Tio? What's the matter, Tio Tot? You've been awfully quiet for a bit now. I'm fine. Tio, the sun makes it hard to see but your face. It's so pale. What? I told you, I'm fine. I just feel a bit unwell is all. Sounds like a contradiction to me. There's gotta be some place to rest around. Ah. Tio, this isn't good. I'll go get a doctor. Quickly. It was just her anemia acting up, thank goodness. After a bit of rest, she should wake up and be good as new. That's good. What a relief. You said it. For a second there, I was getting pretty worried. Still, you have to forgive me for making her use my bed, everyone. Still, you have to forgive me for making her use my bed, everyone. Unfortunately, every room we have in the hospital is occupied right now. If that's alright, I'm sure your room will be more than enough to help Tio recover. Cecile, thank you so very much. Don't mention it, Elie. I have to work the night shift tonight, so it's perfectly fine if you want to rest here until tomorrow morning. Well, I'll be going then. Alright, thanks for this. Appreciate the help. Nein, Randy, du gehst jetzt nicht da hinten irgendwie in einen der Schränke. Tio, if only we noticed sooner. Now, but think about it, she first started to look a little sick during our conversation with Dr. Günther, right? I'm almost positive it was. Was it when he started telling us about the drug the devil worshippers made? I'm fine, you know, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Tio, you're awake. I'm so glad. Yeah, that's right, you know? Please, there's no need to be. Someone involved in the ongoing drug investigation, I'm sure you have to ask. About everything I know, I mean. Listen, Tio, do you really think we would push you to share something you're clearly uncomfortable talking about? Huh? While the investigation is definitely important, these are two separate matters. You're more to us than just a colleague. Above all, you're an irreplaceable friend, Tio. Oh. I'm sure you've got your reason for hiding whatever you know. I mean, my past got put out in the open a little bit, but Tio Tot, if you really don't want to tell us about it, then that's fine. We'll still be backing you up with everything we've got. Elie, Randy, that's how we all feel. But if you ever want to tell us about the things you've kept hidden, and if doing so makes the burden easier to bear, I hope that we can help shoulder it for you, if even just for a little bit. Lloyd. How can you say things like that with a straight face? Not just you, Lloyd, but Elie and Randy too. You must be rubbing off on the rest of the team, Lloyd. Haha, suppose he might. That might be the case. Yeah, love it up. I already told Lloyd a fragment of this story, but let me explain. I was snatched away from my parents when I was 5 years old. Held captive by a cult of religious fanatics. They couldn't be... Damn it. What the objective of a cult was is still unknown, but one thing is clear. They were attempting to obtain something by rejecting the goddess and worshipping devils. Seeing that they saw me and the other captive children as offerings. Nothing more, nothing less. Simply a means to obtain whatever they wanted. Offerings. Yes, I call them offerings because sacrifices wouldn't exactly be right. But I suppose you could call some of the other kids' experiences something akin to that. The cult had several lodges and each was experimenting with different ceremonies. And as for the ceremony they conducted at the lodge I was taken to, it was primarily human experimentation. Human experimentation? That where your neck for sense and stuff came from? Precisely. Senses were attached to our entire bodies and were pumped full of drugs. They attempted to enhance our 5 senses using any methods imaginable. They even tried enhancing our sensitivity to supernatural phenomena by applying psychological stress and hypnosis. For 3 long years, that was my life, day in, day out. That can't be. Despite all that, I might have been the luckiest person at my lodge. None of the children could withstand the ceremonies except for me. One by one, they began to disappear, and it was only when I was the last child left that I gained this power. My sensory receptivity became strong enough to hear the final cries of the others on the opposite side of that massive rock wall. Tio, those monsters. Then something happened. Lloyd Bannings guy was able to break into the lodge. The team accompanying guy was able to neutralize the cult followers and dismantle the lodge's operation. The resistance was strong, but the moment the lodge fell, most of the cultists committed suicide. While stepping over so many of their corpses, Guy finally reached what was known as the ceremonial chamber. And that was when he found the only child left alive in that nightmare. By the time Guy took me into his custody, I was debilitated beyond recognition. Because of that, I was hospitalized for several months in order to recover. What happened after that, I've already told Lloyd about. I guess so. Tio. It's almost ironic. Despite being so grateful to Guy for saving me from that place, when I heard that he passed away 2 years ago, I wasn't even that sad. It's as if, in exchange for this power, I had my emotions stripped away. At least that's what I thought. Tio. I wanted to ask him something. I wanted to ask Guy, a strong and possibly optimistic person, how exactly should a broken person like me live? But in the end, I wasn't able to ask him, and I was recruited by the Epstein Foundation. After that, I joined the space support section and began to live with all of you. I still don't know the answer. How do I go about living? Just why am I alive? Tio! You don't have to worry about that. It's okay to not know the answers. We're all the same. What? Why do we live? How should we live? There aren't many people who know the answers to those questions, Tio. Me, Ali, Wendy, we're all lost, the same as you. I definitely lost my way, that for sure. Still, Tio thought, you're being way too serious about all this. What's the point in rushing to answer questions like those? But if you still can't help but wonder what the answers are, keep searching for them. Just remember, no need to rush, and you don't have to do it alone. Let's find these answers together. I'll always be here for you too. So will Randy, Bashir, Kia, even Sight. We're all here for you. We'll help you find the answers to these questions. Yes, I think Lloyd has definitely rubbed off on you, Elie and Randy. Hearing you all say this stuff, it's too embarrassing. Why would you... It's fate, ain't it? When we joined the SSS, we all fell prey to this guy's cheatiness. Randy's right. We're a team. We share what we feel, be it embarrassing or not. I don't get why I'm the one being blamed for that, but I definitely agree with Ellie's last point. We share everything. Embarrassment, our past pains, and of course our happiness and daily jokes too. That's what it means to be a team, right? Oh, please stop. It's too embarrassing. It's burning up in here. I'm not sure how much more of this I can take. But for some reason, I don't think this is such a bad feeling. After their heartfelt talk, the SSS took the bus back to Crossbell City. When they returned to the SSS building and put an exhausted Tio in bed, Lloyd, Elie, and Randy decided to have one more talk with Chief Sergey. Oh. Cuteness overload. Oh no. Oh no, cuteness overload. Damn it, that name again. Gnosis. Chief, it's about time you tell us. Please, tell us what my brother was involved in 6 years ago, and about the cult that kidnapped Tio. I take it you're aware of everything that happened, right, Chief? Same, I had a gut feeling that you knew what was up with Tio from the start. War Teil des Teams, was mit Guy gekommen ist, oder? Of course I know about the cult. At their height, Guy and I were the ones to track down and suppress one of the cult's lodges. Yeah. You did. Then, Chief, you were my brother's... Yeah, I was Guy's superior officer. Back then, I guess I stood out a bit more than I do now. One day I got 2 unconventional rookies assigned to serve under me. One of them being your brother? Ah, the other's Arias, oder... Guy was so impulsive, but a bit reckless too, but he was a damn great detective. Now the other rookie was in stark contrast with Guy in all the right ways. Who exactly was this other rookie? Arias? No way. Was that Dudley guy from 1st Division? Nope, that guy went straight into the 1st Division. He's the natural. You've probably heard of the other rookie before, actually. His name is Elie MacDowell. I knew it. What? He was a part of the police. He was. He traded his police badge for the Brace's gauntlet some years back. Hell, that's probably one of the reasons the police here in Crossbell have such animosity toward the Brace Guild. What a twist. My brother and Ariel were both in the force together. Age-wise, Ariel beats Guy in that category. Ariel already tied the knot and recently had a daughter. Trust me, he's always been the serious many years. On the other hand, Guy was the wild card, always acting rash, an optimistic fool. Given how different they were, probably why they started to get along in the first place. In little less than 2 years after joining the force, these guys were heralded at the police's 8th duel. Judging by Arias' skill, I can hardly doubt that. Übrigens, ganz kleine Anmerkung, ich bin einfach ein Zacker, der auf sowas achtet. Arias' Name war gerade noch nicht da. Judging by Arias' skill, I can hardly doubt that. Right? I'll be honest, I was proud of those boys. After all, not many are blessed with the chance to raise such fine greenhorns like those two. Our squad was able to accomplish a lot while we were operating. Eventually, higher up decided to leave the joint investigation of the international case on our desk instead of the 1st Division's. Joint investigation? International case? You aren't saying that it was... Yes, it involved the cult. DG. That well-fishing name, oh yeah. D therefore G. What the hell does that mean? It's in a mathematical equation using therefore, but then what exactly do the D and G stand for? We never solved the entire riddle, but we did uncover what the meaning of the G is. Stand for Gnosis. Oh, D, wo könnte die stehen? Ja, sorry, Niklas, ich bin noch hier ein bisschen nee. Sorry. Die könnte einmal von der Person natürlich stehen. Ich habe da wohl schon eine im Kopf, aber da hält man nicht wen, weil ich weiß, dass die Person damit involviert ist. Ich will deswegen den Namen nicht sagen. Die könnte aber auch für Divergent Laws stehen. Was das genau ist, weiß ich jetzt auch mal nicht. Auch aus Spoilergründen, weil der später irgendwann erwähnt wird. Wofür könnte D noch stehen? Das sind so die 2 Sachen, die man einfach... Gut, alles klar, dann heute ich meine, viel Spaß noch, wir haben uns. Ja, dir auch eine schöne gute Nacht, Niklas. Schlaf gut. Ja, das sind eigentlich die beiden Sachen, die mir so einfallen. Oh. That unleashes demonic power, Dr. Günther told us about. So this has gotta be connected. It's already been 6 years since that whole mess. Those zealots left behind a lot of mysteries, but I know one thing for sure. Out of my decades of service on the force, this was the most disgusting bunch I ever had the displeasure of taking down. The bastards used those kids there to kidnap and sacrifices at their lodges. The adoption case Mr. Grimwood mentioned yesterday. The DG called. They had more than 10 active lodges, spread all across Zimuria. Sag übrigens jetzt, ich sag nicht die Werfer G die ganze Zeit, sondern einfach nur DG. And they performed various rituals in each of them, summoning horrific deep devils, taking advantage of artifacts for their gain, experimenting on those poor children. And there was always one constant in their rituals, a mysterious drug called Gnosis. I mean, it's a hard story to digest, so how'd you end up snuffing them out? Right. Hallo. Was? Moment, Guy, Dudley, Arius, Cassius, Zinn? Wer ist das da unten? Wer ist das da unten rechts? Der hat eine bonische Uniform an. Wer ist das? Alter, das Team, Mann. Like I mentioned, nicht Dudley, Sagan natürlich. Like I mentioned yesterday, this issue was spreading into each country, so a joint investigation team was organized by the nations affected. Each country's armies, police forces, and the Boyster Guild collaborated. A large-scale operation to round up and suppress every lodge operated by the cult was mounted, all under the command of a famous Boyster. Yeah. As for my small squad of 3, we were in charge of taking down a lodge located on the outskirts of Altair, located in western Calvert. Guy rescued Tio Plato, who was 8 years old at the time. She was completely and utterly debilitated, but still in better shape than others. We couldn't save any of the other children, but compared to some of the monstrous rituals happening in the other lodges, I like to think they were shown a little mercy. Why? Why are people like this allowed to exist? I feel like I'm going to be sick. These guys are on a whole different level than Crossbell's day-to-day criminals. So you say. At any rate, after that operation 6 years ago, the cult was completely wiped off the map. All the cult's zealots either committed suicide or suffered a mental breakdown and died. Some have speculated that there were few survivors, but it's also been said that the church and that society exterminated the rest of them. A nightmare known as the DG cult should have finally been over. However, these blue pills pose a threat. It's possible that these pills are the same gnosis used in the cult's rituals. Right now, that's just speculation on my part. But if this is the real deal, I'm afraid the nightmare of 6 years ago might have resurfaced in another form. One that will be at the heart of the underworld conflicts. That's the worst case scenario. But if this is the truth, we can't overlook this. I couldn't agree more. Lloyd, the criminal who murdered your brother 3 years ago is still at large. I know. No leads were found and the case eventually went cold. Yeah, after Guy transferred to the 1st Division, he would only investigate cases by himself, so there were no witnesses. The culprit has been speculated to be one of the major powers' intelligence agencies, Revache, or maybe another crime syndicate. Oh, some have tossed around the idea of a Jäger Corps or terrorist cell being responsible. However, there's always been another possible culprit in my mind. A remnant of a cult, right? Yeah, I'd say that possibility is even more likely now. In a sense, this is becoming a battle to avenge my fallen subordinate. Pardon my selfishness, but from now on, I'll be butting into. The Chief? On the contrary, we'd love your help. You're trying to imply that you haven't had our back up until now? Who knows? It's about time, you know. Found that the special support section based entirely on Guy's original idea. Seriously, my brother? But what about the SSF being created to oppose the guild's popularity? That was purely an excuse to appease the top brass. While he was still alive, Guy told me something I'll never forget. He said that what Crossbell needs is the strength to overcome barriers. A place, wo ich merke schon, Barrieren laufen sind in der Familie Bannings und Ding, huh? A place where youth can continue to move forward despite failures, joining their strengths into one. Don't you think that's what the police really needs here? Guy, I swear you had yourself quite the earnest brother, Lloyd. Then is it simply coincidence that Tio ended up joining the SSS? Oh, I imagine not. He probably wanted more than anything to be in a place where guys will live. Not that she's told me anything like that. I see, that makes sense. Setting aside Guy for now, our focus needs to be on our investigation into stopping these drugs. And regarding Kia, it's possible that she was involved in that cult in some shape or form. Ah, pisses me off to say, but it's likely. After all that talk about drugs being the cause of her amnesia? Yeah, unfortunately I'm beginning to think that as well. So, Chief, could you leave the heavy lifting to us while you protect Kia here? We should be able to cooperate with the 1st Division, but we still need support. Oh? That's true. Yeah, it's gonna be necessary for us to have someone pulling the strings back at the SSF. I'm sorry, I know you went out of your way to offer your help, but this is key to our success. Well, alright. Alright, fine. Listen up. Just like before, I won't be giving any direct instruction. You can have all the advice you want. I'll even take care of comp for you. But you're going to make your own decisions and solve this case with your own will. So, are you up to the challenge? Yes, sir. Understood. Oh, boy. Starting tomorrow, it sounds like we're going to have our work cut out first. Das ist aber jetzt doch nicht das Ende des Kapitels, oder? Nee, okay. Hätte mich jetzt auch echt gewundert. The next day, 8 a.m. Dum dum da da dum dum da da dum da dum. Are you sure you're okay, Tio? You can always wait here with the chief and Kia if you don't feel well enough to go. Your worries unwarranted, I assure you. I was able to turn in early and get a good night's rest. I'm feeling much better than usual. Well, you do look a lot better. But I was still pretty surprised when Kia said she wanted to sleep next to you last night. My God told me to do it. Hey Tio, did you sleep good? Yes, of course. I can only imagine the reason I am in such pristine condition is because I spent so much time with you, Kia. Hehehe, yay. You're a lifesaver, Kia. Indeed, it's as if she's our very own special pick-me-up. Oh, that reminds me. I want you to promise me this one thing, Tio. If something like yesterday happens again, please tell us about it. Don't bottle it up. That'll only make it that much harder on yourself. I don't mean to be harsh, but if you were to collapse in the middle of a fight, we'd all be in trouble. Roger, I will keep that in mind. I am a member of the Special Support Section, and I intend to stand on equal footing with the rest of you. So if you would, please share your burdens and pain with me too. I will do everything in my power to ease them. Tio. Haha, your wish is my command. Yeah, you can count on it. Wow. Well, I'd hope you need this old man to participate. So, you plan to question some of the citizens suspected of drug use this morning, right? Yes, sir. I want to confirm what we found in the 1st Division's report, if possible. And since we'll be busy anyway, we hope to take care of support requests as they come our way. Indeed, if we let this opportunity slip away, we might not have time left to venture outside of the city. As of now, we want to look into that stockbroker in the residential district and that errant boy from the Saber Vipers. And finally, Arkansas's new cast member. It's not surprising the 1st Division was able to pick up on this. If you have time, you should go check in with Ian too. Out of the two he told us about, it looked like the stockbroker is the same one from the 1st Division's records. And as for the trading company manager, it doesn't look like anyone has any substantial information on him yet. Thanks for the advice. We'll make it a priority to stop by there. Dr. Günther should be contacting us later with the drug composition result, around noon I think. Hello, this is Lloyd Bannings of the Special Support Section. Lloyd, it's me, Bixen from Mines. Oh, hello sir. This is good timing actually. How's Guns been holding up? Yes, about that. He, seems to have disappeared again. What? can you fill us in on the details? Of course, you see, Gans woke up late into the night, but he kept fading in and out of consciousness, so we coaxed him into sleep again. Just to be safe, I stayed with him overnight, hoping to report back to you in the morning. But when I awoke in the morning, Gans was nowhere to be found. I see. Have you called the hotel or the casino? Yes, but I was told that no one has seen him for quite some time. What do you think we should do, Lloyd? So, if you don't mind, I want you to stay at the hotel. It's possible that Gans might come back. We were already going out to gather some information, so we'll make sure to keep an eye out for anything involving him. If something comes up, please don't hesitate to give us another call. Alright, thank you, everyone. Did I hear that right? Gans disappeared again. Yeah, apparently he snuck out of our hotel this morning. Either by his own accord or... In any case, we will need to check on the other conditions as well. Man, I got a bad feeling about this. The situation might be escalating faster than we anticipated. Don't worry about things here, just go and see what you can find. Yes, sir. Have a good day. Woof. Wuff, du auch. Oh. Okay, Ancient Battlefield. Inter-K.O., das ist gut. Moon Temple Monster. Da geht das Tower Monster und Orbital Staff Enhancement. I want to perform an upgrade to that Orbital Staff field from the Epstein Foundation. Would you let me take a look? I will discuss the details in person. Come to the factory in the downtown district. Erstmal in die Taktik gucken. Ja, das passt noch. So, dann gehen wir erstmal in den... Ne, gehen wir nicht, Moment. Mal hier gucken, gibt es irgendwie eine neue Zeitung oder so? Nein, okay. Da, Downtown. Glom Factory. Ah, you're all here. Hello, Glom. We saw your support request. Mind telling us the details? Hey there, Mr. Fixer-Upper. Appreciate the help as always, old man. Oh, Tio, it's been too long. How have you been doing? Are you still in good health? You are involved, Chief. Additionally, it has only been a short period of time since you last saw me. Tio's relationship with Chief Robert seems awfully complicated, doesn't it? Our apologies if we barged into the middle of your conversation. Are we interrupting you? We don't mind returning at a more convenient time if that's the case. Oh no, save your worrying for something that needs it. In fact, I'll leave the explanation to my old chum Roberts here. Huh? Get on? I could have sworn I begged you to keep quiet about... Stare. It's not what you think, Tio. I swear. I promise there's nothing suspicious about this at all. We've got a bit of a complex situation on our hands. A complex situation? How so? I imagine it's related to the request. Mind filling us in on the details? Right, I'll tell you everything. This request actually concerns the Foundation. I believe you're aware the Foundation has been collecting Tio's combat data for the Orbital Staff test in Crossbell, right? We're using Tio's data as a reference to continuously improve the Orbital Staff's potency and efficiency. This request was made with the intention of unlocking a new function within the staff, a function that is currently deactivated. What does unlocking a new function entail? You're telling us that Tio's gonna get a sweet new ability. Function is for the staff, not me or any. Many complex functions already lay dormant within the staff's code. However, there are no programs available that will allow me to safely utilize them. There's a strong possibility that a new program has already been in development. At least I believe this will be the purpose of the request. Well, what kind of function is it? To keep it simple, it's related to a new craft. Through the application of the new program, the Orbital staff will be able to deactivate a new robust function. I've already checked out the materials list, too. This staff's going to become one heck of a beast. We certainly can't activate the new function in the current staff without putting Tio in harm's way. We're going to need to improve the handle so she can get a better grip on it. Wow, I don't really get it, but it sounds incredible. So will Tio be able to use this new function if upgrades are made to the staff? She sure will. Just a teensy bit of a problem though. The shipment carrying the program and required parts has been delayed. Cause of a silly mistake on their end, we're going to have to wait another week. In fact, this is what the request is related to. If things continue the way they have, then it'll inconvenience Tio as well. We couldn't stand here and wait, so we want to give Tio a helping hand. So that's why the request was called Oberstaff Enhancement, eh? It all makes sense now. While a week-long delay is unfortunate, I'm not particularly irritated by it. I'm interested in testing out the new function as soon as possible though. After all, I am partly responsible for writing the program. Tio's combat prowess can increase after the upgrade. It'd be a great help towards our investigations. But, Chief Robert, are you implying there's something you can do about the delayed shipment? Have you come up with an alternative? I'm glad you asked, Lloyd. As a matter of fact, I have. Thanks to the document we received earlier, we were able to reconstruct the program needed for the upgrade. All that's left is to procure the materials required for the attachments to the Oberstaff. And that's where your old pal comes in. As you all know, repairs and modifications are my fault. Now that I've gone through those documents, the parts are as good as yours, as long as you can get me the materials. Oh, I see what you're saying. If we gather you the materials, you'd be able to finish up this project. Hey guys, why don't we pitch in and help for Tio's sake? Yes, I was thinking the same thing. No complaint for me. Is this truly okay? Our investigation may be delayed. Haha, we're just gathering some materials. No biggie, Tio Tot. I could do that in my sleep. I agree with Randy, and much like Lloyd said, increasing your combat prowess is sure to make our investigations go more smoothly. Yeah, there's really no reason not to do this. What do you think, Tio? An acceptable idea. I will be relying on your assistance. Sounds like a plan. Which materials are necessary to apply the modification? Alright, a special material called T material. I heard it might be kinda difficult to find them in Crossbell. Is that so? Well, we'll search for it anyway. Now's a good time to tell you that we only need one of them. I hope you managed to find it. Please speak with Galam once you've gathered one. We'll proceed with preparation to modify the Oberstaff once you've done so. I suppose I will be relying on you this time, Chief. Shall we go then? Yeah, let's go hunt this bad boy down. Aber wo kriege ich das denn jetzt her? Das würde mich ja schon interessieren. Oh, poor Chief Robert. Okay, die sagen mir nicht, wo man es herbekommen kann. Vielleicht einfach mal so ins Blaue quasi gefragt. Oh, das haben wir noch gar nicht. Divine Claws. Für Team Material, wow. Sag nur, wo krieg ich so ein Team Material her? Nicht hier. Was macht die Art Bracer hier? Aber gut, dann fangen wir erstmal mit den. Erstmal die Quest. Stargazer, Moon und Ancient Battlefield.